So that was very interesting, what you mentioned about, the amalgamation of the telco sector with insurance. I mean, it was something that none of us could have ever imagined. And you did mention Milvik as well. Let's hear a little from Murtaza Khalil Hassan, who's the country director at BIMA Pakistan, about what he has to say.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Aamir Saab, and thank you, Anza, for leading the session. So I think BIMA has played a vital role with the help of its partners, predominantly Jazz, and with the support of Alfala as well. Our journey started globally in 2010 in Ghana, and we expanded in the rest of the markets, 9 markets around the world, with 37 million customers. And out of that 37 million customers, 4.3 million, or the largest number in all of these 9 markets, is actually from Pakistan. So I think hats off to our teams and also the Digital VAS team at Jazz as well, which has enabled us to reach that milestone in terms of the number of people who are insured over here. Apart from that, I think I completely agree on the customer needs assessment. And based on that, one of the core value propositions that we have is actually telehealth services, which we're offering to our customers. And 24/7, day or night, they can call a number and actually get in touch with our in-house doctors. And this was even more important, especially in the current pandemic situation, where we've given 65,000 telehealth consultations on a monthly basis. And despite the COVID pandemic, despite the lockdowns, thanks to equipment, for example, we gave we have around 1,500 staff right now. So we gave over 1,000 Jazz devices to all of these staff so that they are enabled to work from home if they need to. We even got the Jazz cloud enablement done so that we can actually support our infrastructure to provide the services to these customers. And at the end of the day, it's about serving the customers. And again, I think as long as we're catering to those specific needs, and there's nothing greater than the health need, especially in today's day and age, I think we can always create that space in the hearts and minds of people of Pakistan.
Thank you, Murtaza, for sharing those insights. Now, earlier, what we also wanted to know from Mr. Aamir Ibrahim was that inclusive insurance helps in closing the protection gap of the emerging customers. Now, being in a country with a very low insurance penetration, that offers an opportunity for the insurance companies and InsurTechs, where a lot is yet to be seen. Now, we all agree and admit that telcos with such large user base can be very important participants for us to reach closer to our goals. However, even though Jazz has the largest insurance base of approximately 7% active insurers out of the total subscribers, however, there's still a vast possibility of bringing new insurers on the insurance net, upselling and cross-selling of other insurance products. How do you see the future of insurance within Jazz, and what are your expectations from the insurance industry? So you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So let's look at it from the insurance expectations and what the colleagues in insurance departments and companies should do. One thing that I just mentioned is that we shouldn't try to push what we already have, just changing the medium. That is only a linear approach. It is using a different medium, perhaps a bigger base, and that is certainly evolution. But when we talk about InsurTech, it has to be slightly revolutionary. So when we use our data, our analytics to create products which are closer to what the customer needs, that is where the true revolution rises. So for example, as a customer, I want to keep myself insured, but I don't want to buy an annual travel insurance, right? Maybe this year I will travel, I don't want to travel. But right now I'm at a Daewoo bus stand and I'm going from Islamabad to Karachi. And I want myself to be insured for this particular event. And I want my luggage to be insured. And maybe at that particular moment, a pop-up appears on my screen and says, well, because you just bought the Daewoo ticket to go from Islamabad to Karachi, For another 5 rupees, we can insure your luggage. That is insurance tech, in my opinion, right? And then when we start actually, and these things are actually quite possible in Pakistan today. There is no rocket science behind this thing. This is nano insurance, event driven, etc., etc. This is what I expect from the insurance companies, that they partner with technology companies, be it ourselves or anybody else, to start providing these kind of services. This is how we bring relevance to what the customer needs. And I would certainly like to see more of that. Yes, there is also this big protection gap. We have 70 million customers. There are more than 180, 60 million customers in Pakistan who have mobile phones, and they're mostly uninsured. So certainly we can reach them. And I think our partners, BIMA, are doing a good job. They make in their introductions to our customers, we have a partnership with them, and they sell the products which are actually developed by Alfala and themselves. So those are the underwriters. Jazz becomes a distribution engine and a payment mechanism. But it is still quite encouraging that Jazz has more than, I think, 4.5 million BIMA policies, and we've insured more than 5.5 million customers, which is a huge number. And we give them bucket size or sachet size insurance products like 1.5 rupees a day, 2 rupees a day. And there are still about 400-500 claims that we get, and we process those claims within only 72 hours. And most of those claims are then put back into a digital format, which is a Jazz Cash wallet. So we have actually made this whole process and the trouble of insurance, the documentation, all those things extremely simple. And we have made it convenient for the customers to claim. And we have made it almost a surety that 99% of their claims will be paid. Many customers have a fear that they will pay huge amounts of insurance. And when the claim time comes, it will be a long process. And insurance companies will try to dodge me and not to give me my money when I need it. So those three problems we have solved. We have gone to many more people. We have made it easier for them to sign up. We have made it easier for them to put the claims in, and we have made it easier for them to actually get the money back. So that is how we have helped. And I think that's a remarkable journey that we have been on for the last 3 years. We are seeing a greater number of customers who are now coming into this safety net. And we feel that, we're playing an important part in getting people more familiar with the benefits of insurance. So that's what we have done, and that's what we plan to do.
Right. Thank you very much. Nilofer has now finally joined us, and her connection issues are hopefully sorted. So I'm handing over the floor to Nilofer. All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aamir Saab, for joining in between. Finally, I think we all are here and we can discuss and talk about it. I would like to, I was listening to your talk and it's very encouraging. We all at insurance industry also follow this example of Jazz and BIMA. I think it has become quite big and quite significant to be talked about with a country of having such a low insurance penetration and a country with such a big population, approximately 225 million people, 84% have the mobile connection, 45% use mobile internet. Jazz itself has more than, I think, 70 million subscribers. And as we speak, I think the number is increasing and it's growing. So thank you so much. I'll continue. I'll come back to you. But before that, I'll ask Murtaza. Murtaza, you have been a part of an international InsurTech in Pakistan. So BIMA, its experience, BIMA is in 9 countries overall. So how do you rate? How does BIMA rate our market? How does BIMA sees the emerging insurance needs in Pakistan? And where do we stand as Pakistan in terms of the entire BIMA landscape?
Okay. Good question, Nilofer. So I think, and thank you for your words. I think, as you mentioned, 225 million population we have. And if we have a Jazz partnership with Jazz, that's another around 70 million customers. But we ourselves have insured around 5.5 million policyholders and 4.3 million customers. So that's still a huge way where we can actually bridge the gap. And overall, I think if you talk about BIMA, globally, we have 37 million customers. So out of that, we have actually one of the largest markets of BIMA. And right now, one of the focus of BIMA is to grow this market and expand within the Pakistani market, because there's so much potential. And also, I think one of the key things, apart from just providing the telehealth services which we have, which people of Pakistan need, considering the scarcity of hospitals and clinics available, and considering the pandemic situation, I think it's also about health literacy. So many people may not know, but BIMA also provides health programs or messages focused on health education, like diabetes, hypertension, general health, nutrition, women and children health. And all these things are definitely there for the population, and there's a big need for it to grow the market further and expand within Pakistan.
Thank you so much, Murtaza. My next question will be for Aamir Saab. Aamir Saab, we would all like to know that obviously Jazz has been interested and doing this insurance, and it's the biggest as compared to, like in many things, it's biggest in the insurance sector as well. So I would like to know that overall, what is the focus of financial services within Jazz, and what do you think insurance can do further? And should, as an industry, what will be your remarks or your recommendation for the industry, for the upcoming InsurTechs, for the InsurTechs that are in Pakistan, eyeing on this sector, international ones that are willing to come to Pakistan? What will be your advice? What will be you looking at when you evaluate them?
Sorry, I missed that part towards the end.
No problem, Aamir Saab. Aamir Saab, I was just saying that Jazz being the topmost in many things, topmost in terms of subscribers, topmost in terms of mobile banking, and topmost in terms of insurance as well. But still, I think the horizon is so big because we have 70 million users. And now because the market is moving towards customer segmentation, we have different kind of products. So what will you be looking at when it comes to insurance? What do you think that we as an industry should do more, or the InsurTechs that are developing in Pakistan, the international ones that are eyeing to our market in Pakistan, what do you think that will help everyone? Because you represent Pakistan. 70 million population is a good representation of the entire Pakistan.
So this is going to be evolution. We can't expect that within the next 2 years, all 70 million, or by that time, we will probably have 80 million customers will start insuring themselves. That doesn't happen anywhere in the world. But I think what we should keep our eye on is progress, and accelerated progress. So we want to make sure that, I don't know what our internal ambition numbers are, but we have about 4.3 million unique customers holding policies with us. I hope it goes to 10 million next year and more. And when people have this thing, they also share their stories with their friends and their family. So they are more inclined. A satisfied customer will go and talk about it. So our focus is not only on greater numbers, but a greater number of positive stories, because that then results in this thing. So we, in addition to just talking about numbers, are also looking at what can we do better. Is the process good enough? Is the product good enough? Is the awareness there? So there are a whole bunch of things that we have to do, and we have to constantly keep on looking at, are we fulfilling the needs of the customers properly? So that's what Jazz does, whether it is an InsurTech, whether it's a gap in financial services, whether it is a connectivity question, we have to keep our eyes and ears very closely on the customer.
Thank you so much, Aamir Saab. So one takeaway I got was about the customer needs, evolving customer segment. Murtaza, we in COVID-19, I think everyone had to change. Everyone had to change the game, the dynamics. And that's where the services of BIMA really emerged. The telehealth platform, I think, when you opened it up to the masses. So we will really be interested, because telehealth is another sector. We see the players coming in, like on daily basis, we have some new player in the market. So how do you rate the experience of telehealth within BIMA?
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So I think we all know that in the current pandemic situation, what customers, the challenges that they're facing, right? So I mean, let's suppose it's 11 p.m. in the night, and somebody has to get a doctor consultation. So either they can go out, get the transport, go to a clinic, or they can probably consult with some family member. But now BIMA has provided and has been providing a service which the customer can use to just call at any time during the day or night. And it's even more appropriate, especially in the current pandemic situation when people are finding it difficult to go to hospitals and clinic due to risk of infection. So I think the need is strong right now than it's ever been, and apart from that, I believe that in terms of the utilization. So, for example, if I compare Nilofer, before pandemic, we had 10,000 roughly consultations a month. Now we have 65,000 to 70,000 consultations a month. And by the way, that's almost 80% of BIMA's total consultations globally in the 9 markets. So this shows that there is a great uptick in the utilization and the usage of the product. And I agree with Aamir Saab that if you look at insurance and InsurTech, it's not just important to bring additional products and more products. It's also important how you service them and how you continue to meet those service standards. So our partners at Jazz, they are very obviously cognizant about the service standards that we have to offer. And because of that, we ensure that our doctors have the correct SOPs, which our global mHealth team back in UK make sure they vet and make sure that they are at par. And because of that, we ensure that we have the quality controls. We have a separate QA department, a claims department, customer services department, a total of 1,500 people who actually support this entire setup and ensure that we can actually go forward and move forward.
Thank you, Murtaza. I think Aamir Saab was lacking time, so he's left. But taking this opportunity, we all will be interested to know more about it. So in COVID-19, we all have seen that due to this pandemic, the seating structure, the entire networking structure, the office environment all got disturbed. And we for a fact know that BIMA has one of the largest office spaces in Pakistan. So as far as we know, you have around 1,200 agents. So when this COVID struck Pakistan, obviously no one of us was expecting it. So how did you immediately reacted and what measures did you take? I think this will not be only useful for insurance or for InsurTech, but for the entire financial industry and other industries as well.
Yeah. Nilofer, it was one of the biggest challenges I faced in my career, obviously, and many executives must have faced that because I joined BIMA in 2019 and 6 months down the line, we saw that COVID struck. And the entire world has changed and the way to work had also changed. And I think we devised a strategy around 2 areas, key areas, employees and customers. So obviously you need highly motivated employees to provide quality of services. And then you need to ensure that you also maintain your quality of services throughout that time. So when we looked at employees, we saw that how is it possible that we can enable them to provide services extensively. And we saw that one thing which all employees needed was internet connection. So we provided our staff with internet connection. We have over 1,500 staff right now in BIMA Pakistan, and we had around 1,100 to 1,200 before the pandemic. So we've actually grown and we provided that staff those devices. Then we had to ensure that they had the laptop devices available. We also had to ensure that we have the cloud infrastructure available to support the systems that we need. And then in terms of health and safety, Nilofer, we are proud to say that we have got around over 1,000 individuals vaccinated. We have helped them to get vaccinated by providing them incentives to vaccinate and also transport to and from the office to the vaccination center. So this is what we did with employees to ensure that they remain motivated and capable of delivering the services. When you come to, if you come to look at the customers, the way we have helped them is we ensured that we started giving them that health literacy or that education on COVID related things. So for example, on COVID prevention, on COVID, on vaccination promotion. We ensured that all these customers get the messages that require. We ensured that our Facebook pages and Twitter and other social media channels also had material related to COVID that people could understand and learn from. And then we entered into a partnership with Sanofi, which enabled us to provide additional incentives, because as you know, the cost of healthcare has also increased due to this pandemic. To support them in other areas, we entered into a partnership to support discounts on diabetes medicines, and also a referral program which can enable customers to be referred to diabetes experts. So this is what we did for them and for our customers, and providing them that support, while also ensuring that we kept on continuing to pay their claims and provide all additional support required.
Thank you, Murtaza. Murtaza, I think I will need one last advice from you, because this is an InsurTech summit, and I know many InsurTechs are eyeing locally and internationally upon Pakistani market due to all its indicators. So a quick 2-3 lines on what do you have to say about how is the market, and any advice that you would like to give it to them.
Okay, I think the advice I would like to give is that we need to keep updated with technology. So we've seen during this pandemic, the only thing which has helped us, recover is technology. I think basic things such as 4G connections, internet connections, Zoom softwares, and other available tools. I think these are some things which shouldn't be. We need to make sure that we keep abreast of all these technological advancements and move with that, because ultimately this helps us recover from any crisis and move on.
Thank you so much, Murtaza. I think it was a very useful session. I know because of the internet and connection issues, which are not in anyone's hands, the session had to be broken up into 2 pieces. Last, I would like to wind up the session, but I would just say that I love a quote from someone very famous InsurTech specialist, and he always says that don't run after disruption, just enable. So if we all just enable the Pakistani